This is Mimi, and we are here to talk to you about why foam rolling is good for you if you've never done it before, and even if you do it, why you should do it, right? So there's a lot of reasons. One,
sorry, I'm just getting logged in so that if you have questions, you can type them here and we can see them because the cameras are very far and over 40, so can't see that.
Yeah, and I have contacts on, but I honestly, I hope I'm looking into the camera. So, so why do we foam roll? Why do I like to tell people to do foam rolling? Especially if you are part of our crew, the 40 Fu crew, right? Where you are possibly coming in to do Kung Fu before or after work, and maybe you're dealing with some knots, you're dealing with some tension, things like that. What we want is to get a little bit of tissue change to then allow us to perform better with whatever it is that we want to do. Let's say it's Kung Fu. Our bodies are just these big bags of tissue, right? And so in that tissue there's fluid, blood, there's a lot of different things going on, and foam rolling can start making some changes to that tissue, bringing some fluid to that tissue, and will allow you then to maybe move a little bit better. Keep in mind that if you foam roll one time, there will be no permanent change to your tissue. If I were to do one chin-up and I feel like, wow, my back, my biceps feel good, that is not going to be a permanent change. It's cumulative over time. So I like to recommend that people foam roll as often as they can, once a day, maybe 3 to 4 times a week. The more you're able to do it, the better you're going to feel. So, anything I should add to that?
I don't know. I really wasn't paying attention since I was setting up the computer. But I do know that a lot of your clients who do the foam rolling really like the foam rolling and sometimes don't want to get off the foam rollers. And I do know the first time we did it was at Mike Boyle's, right? It was the first time that I was introduced to foam rolling, and I'm like, well, what is this? But I love massage and, you know, myofascial release and all these different things. I like the lacrosse ball. I like all those things. But one time, if you guys saw, Oscar gave me the tiger tail treatment, and you saw that whole shoulder bit. But so I really enjoyed the foam roller, but I will also say it's not just relaxation. There are certain parts of this that actually feels like a workout, and I was like, oh, I don't like that part as much, but it is really nice, and it does kind of set you up and warm you up differently than kind of what we traditionally think of as a warm-up.
Yeah, and so keep in mind that just like anything else, the cumulative experience of doing it consistently over time is what will give you the benefit. So for you who maybe do Kung Fu once, 2 times, 3 times a week, if on your other days you can do foam rolling as often as possible, then you will be able to perform better over the course of time. One session is not going to do it. But what we decided we were going to do is maybe go through a general foam rolling routine. If you have a foam roller at home, if not, I would suggest maybe getting one. They're under 20 bucks at Amazon. And then also have a variety of options to do foam rolling type of techniques. We talked about this kind of tiger tail on a previous podcast, and I mentioned that you can get pretty inexpensive options to a rolling pin to kind of roll tissues out.
But it sounds cooler to say tiger tail, so
right.
Even if you have a rolling pin, I would name it tiger tail.
Yeah, we have lacrosse balls, which are a little bit tougher, and these are really good for kind of rolling on the bottom of the feet. But also, when we travel, we always travel with a lacrosse ball. So if we're on a long plane ride or we're in a long car ride, you can start kind of rubbing out some tissues on your own. Sometimes for rubbing out and working on your low back and that mid and upper back, the thoracic spine, I really love 2 tennis balls tied in a sock. It is like, it's magic. Magic balls. Does that sound weird? It does.
It's more like a peanut.
It's like a peanut, but it's like, so this is 2 tennis balls. I just put it in a sock. I tied it with a rubber band. The separation is about a finger's width apart, or 2. It's about the width of your spine, and then you just place this on your back. However, for today's 40 Fit Fu, I'm going to move these to the side, and we're just going to go through a foam rolling routine that you can follow along with. We'll take maybe 5 to 10 minutes doing it. If we see a question pop up, we'd love to answer it.
Yes.
But I'm going to go through it and then also see if I can answer any questions or things. This is how I approach it.
Right.
Which is not the way.
Because I was setting up earlier, you did talk about like exactly especially for our Kung Fu students, you know, this is something that's good
I think it's good to do before and after. So you know what? Let's
Just
get
not in
started and
between.
let's talk about it. Yeah. So yeah, you can't bring your foam roller into the Kung Fu class.
No.
So
although in the kids class we may use it to, or the adult class we may use it to hit
Yeah.
the students.
So I like to always start kind of on my back, which is for us 45th floors is a higher tension area. My butt is on the floor, my back is on the foam roller. Two options. If you have neck issues, I like for people to just net their hands and support the back of their head, but not to have the elbows pointed out. What you want to do is bring those elbows in or give yourself a hug. You want to move the shoulder blades out of the way as you roll up and down. If you've never done foam rolling before, or if you've never gotten a massage before, for some people this can be a little bit painful. And I hear in my class when I start some of this, oh, right? And the important thing is if you want to make nervous system type of change, you have to be able to breathe. So if I'm rolling and I find a tender spot and I'm like, and I'm trying to smash things through, I don't really think that's the appropriate way to handle this. Just like in Kung Fu, focus on your breathing first, right? So what we want to do is scan the body. I'm scanning my back. I move my shoulder blades out of the way. I know that on my right side I got a little bit of tightness here. I breathe into it. I pick my hips up if I want to put more force into the tissue. I drop my hips if I want to put less. I can roll a little bit side to side, get behind the shoulder blade, pick my arm up, and realize that the muscle runs in a bunch of different directions. So you can roll in a bunch of different directions. And also that the fascia, your fascia, which envelops your entire body, rolls everywhere. So if I'm rolling this way, and I'm like, oh, feel something here, but you're rolling, I don't know, kind of side to side this way, and that's where you feel it, that's great. As long as you're able to take a deep breath and breathe, that's what I like for you to do. So
yeah, so a lot of people I think go, oh my gosh, am I doing it right or am I doing it wrong? Because it's so, fluid, there's no exact technique. So I just wanted to kind of clarify, like, as long as what you're feeling, if you feel something, that's actually a good thing that you're feeling it, right?
yeah, so numbness or tingling or a sharp stabbing. So numbness or tingling is probably not good because
Sharp
that's
stabbing
yeah.
sounds bad.
Wait, numbness or tingling is not good because you could maybe get on a nerve, right? And you just might need to move around that. A sharp stabbing pain, if it's just for a split second, may be okay. If it starts to dissipate, as if it's like this is the pain, and then just over time it just kind of gets away, and that's awesome. You've hit the reason why we're
Right,
foam
so that's
rolling.
the goal, right?
This is the goal.
So there may be discomfort, and that's okay.
Yes, and actually it's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. If it's on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like excruciating pain, we want to be at around a 7 or an 8, wherever you can take a deep breath. And every single person is a little bit different. So obviously we're spending a lot of time on our backs because that's where I kind of feel it. But for Kung Fu, and for a lot of movements that we do, that we have to kind of pick up our arms overhead. And we find that as you get a little bit older, it's a little bit more challenging. So what we want to do is get your lat muscle, this muscle here, which is below the shoulder blade. And so if I'm on the foam roller, and I'm going to do my right side first, and I just roll onto the side there and try to get underneath. You feel it?
Yeah.
You want to be able to breathe. That grunt is awesome. But you want to be able to.
And sometimes you don't even get to roll. You
Breathe.
actually just feel the pressure, like you feel where the tissue needs working, and you're just kind of right here.
Exactly. And remember what I said
have to roll.
at the beginning is what's in your tissue. You have fluid, and in that fluid is minerals and blood, all these things, and you want to move that stuff around and circulate it around the tissue. I'm just going to do my left side.
So like good circulation. Yeah, I have to do the other side too, so that I'm even. But so basically, it's kind of nice because that kind of ties into our Eastern philosophy of, like circulation is really important.
Right.
And this is something that definitely promotes that. So especially our Tai Chi students, this is a nice, gentle, it's rolling, it's very circular.
Yep.
It's kind of a nice meld, but definitely circulation I think is huge for martial art practitioners. So I
And
even out also.
the other thing too is the more you do it, the more you're going to realize where you need to go. So I know every time I roll, to kind of roll my mid-back, I feel it. I know that my lats get pretty tight, and I need to kind of just breathe into that. I know that the back of my shoulders need a little bit of work. And so me rolling that tissue out
So
is
basically,
a benefit.
so basically, where you feel comfortable, don't stay there and roll for 5 minutes. You should actually feel a little bit of that discomfort, or
think,
you know,
yeah, I think you should
there
feel
is pain. There's actual pain, but it's a good pain.
Well, you want to feel the discomfort. If it feels good, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't stay on there, unless you're complaining about time. Like if you say, well, I don't got time to foam roll, and then every time you foam roll, you're spending 5 minutes on the areas that just feel good, then maybe that would be an instance where we're going to do that. So what we're going to do next is do our hips. But just keep in mind that whole back area, the back of your shoulders, even your triceps you can roll out. Experiment, and just remember also that sharp pain for a little bit of time that then dissipates is okay. Numbness or tingling, probably not.
Right, and stabbing is bad. So if someone comes up and stabs you while foam rolling, that's bad.
Yeah, here at the Kung Fu Temple, that may happen. Like a weapon may come at you.
Could happen. You gotta be prepared.
Definitely be prepared. Okay, so also for Kung Fu, we get tight here in the butt, hips, all this area. So just sitting on here, I've had some people that feel it, right? But what we want to do is to get the external rotator of the hip is you cross one leg over. I have my right leg crossed. Whatever leg is bent and on top, that's the side that you turn into. What's going to be your instinct is, which happens to anyone who I'm teaching foam rolling, is they bend their leg and they go onto this side. And this is not,
this feels better.
This feels okay.
There's no pain there.
Here, there's a lot of people that it goes from here where I was like, do you feel anything? No? Yes. Okay, go under your elbow, and they just start, whoop. And remember, we want to be able to take a deep breath and kind of roll those tissues out. Spending a lot of time in our horse stance, this gets very tight.
Yes.
The external rotators are working to pull us into...
Like you're supposed to be spending time in your horse stance.
Right, exactly. Those muscles are working to pull ourselves down into the stance, and so sometimes they need a little bit of TLC.
A little TLC, yeah. So you have a comment. You'd like me to read it out loud. Do you
Is
want
it
to
from
guess
him?
who it is? Yeah, it's from him. It's like he knew. One of our loyal 4T Fit Food followers, Hip Dang, said...
I'm breathing. Go ahead.
He said, they see me rolling. I'm aching. Inhale, exhale, catch me breathing deeply.
They see me roll. Is that Chameleonaire? Is he talking about Chameleonaire? If he is, I don't want to talk to him. He's not a good rapper. Okay, so let's put our left. I'm just switching. So just remember, whatever leg is on top, that's the side you want to turn your body to. You can start with your arm fully extended. So my left leg is on top. My left arm is extended straight. If I would need more tissue, which I'm used to this, I go onto my elbow, and then I just really try to find and put more pressure into the tissue as I need. Okay? So those are our hips, and now we're going to move on to the back of the leg, our hamstrings, which we do a lot of stretching and kicking for Kung Fu, splits and straight leg kicks, so these tissues get a lot of pulling, and they can get a little bit of tight over time. So I personally like to start with one leg on the foam roller, but just to show you, for someone who's never done it, maybe 2 legs is an easier option to start with. But you Kung Fu people probably want a little bit more force onto there, so you would like to bring your whole body weight onto one leg. And again, I'm going straight up and down. Keep in mind that we can go straight up and down, scan, roll side to side, flex, point the toe, rotate the leg.
And what you said earlier too, with intensity, the more like you leverage yourself and you can put more weight, which makes it more intense. Also, there are different variations of foam rollers.
Correct.
This is the very user-friendly starting off foam roller, yes?
This is,
I'll get the
so there's, I have different rubber rollers. They look almost like torture equipment with like knots on them and everything. This is the most common one. A nice dense foam roller like this is a great starter option. But I have clients who prefer a little bit more, and it looks like that, right? And when they see it the first time, you know, it looks like it came out of a medieval castle or something, right? And so
it could be a weapon, actually.
It could be a weapon, right? But I, again, know myself, since I do a lot of foam rolling with my clients, that right behind my right hamstring here is usually a little bit tight, so I'm spending some time here breathing and trying to let my nervous system relax and let a little bit of change happen to that. So again, no right or wrong way, as long as you're not causing yourself any severe, like that numbness or tingling, right? I'm going to do my other side as we talk about this. So as a scanner would, I'm scanning my hamstring, I scan, oh, I find something that's a little bit tight. I can roll there, breathe, try to put a little bit more pressure, point, flex the toe. Remember that your fascia goes in every direction, so there's no wrong direction for you to do your foam rolling with. Okay. So to recap, we've done our upper back, we've done our hips, we've done the back of the legs. We're gonna do the front, our quadriceps, which again, all the stances that we do are very quad dominant, and so these tissues, in addition to how your hips and your butt gets, also gets a little bit tight. So I am going to have the foam roller straight out. The leg that is straight is the one that's rolling. Hopefully you get to see this come through on the screen. One leg is bent, other leg is straight, and I'm on my elbows. And right at where my hip and quadricep and my leg connect, all the way right above the knee, not on the knee, is fair game. Rolling straight up and down, rolling side to side, pausing where you feel tension. When I do my quads, I like to also bend and flex, bend my knee and extend my knee, and rotate my hip, because I'm exploring and breathing. And as I've been saying multiple times, the more you do it, the more you're gonna know where to go, right? You find your quads a little bit tight, or no? From yesterday's Kung Fu class, my quads are pretty tight. A little bit.
For those of you that didn't catch us on Sunday, on our Facebook Live on the Rollin Temple site, my quads might be a little tight from Sunday. So we did a finale Kung Fu show, and that's actually on our Kung Fu podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
So check that out. You can see us in Kung Fu action, 40 plus Kung Fu action. So
if you ever have
check that out.
If you ever have knee pain in the front of your knee, thinking about the tissue above and below the knee is a nice way to kind of start attacking that. And so if you have pain here right in the front of the patella, if you work on your quads, a lot of times that can alleviate the tension that's coming down onto the knee.
Is that that tightness?
Yeah, that allow you to move.
Okay.
And the same for the inside of the knee. So if you have tightness coming in through here, well, we can work the inside, which we're going to do in a second. I'm just going to make sure that I do my quads on the left side.
Okay, you've got a question? I think this one's a serious one.
So it's not from hip?
It is from hip, but I think it's a serious one.
Wow. Okay.
He says, would you recommend using foam rollers pre-workout to stretch and loosen up before, or afterwards to help your body heal post, or perhaps both?
I would say perhaps both, obviously. No joking aside, this is serious now. Hip is a very busy person. And when he's not making funny comments, you know, he's running his business, right? So it's whatever's realistic for you as far as what you can do. I would recommend, if you're able to foam roll before your training session, depending on how long you have, just take a few minutes. What you're doing is opening up a window of movement. So one of the best things to do is to foam roll and then do something immediately afterwards. It's sort of like we're opening up a Word document, right? Then foam rolling is we're
really
typing.
Speaking hips language
we're
now.
typing. We're working. I've moved on to a lot of Google. I've moved away from Microsoft. I'm sorry, but I'm using a lot of Google Sheets, Google Documents. Okay, so you open up your document, you start typing. That's the foam rolling. Then immediately you do some active stretching, active mobility, or maybe Kung Fu. That is hitting save on the document. And
so
if you just foam roll and walk away,
right, then it doesn't.
It's not going to be as beneficial.
What it is. So what's funny is earlier when we were doing the foam rolling on the back, immediately I got up and I kind of wanted to start moving because I kind of felt that need without even you kind of talking about it.
So if you were to guess what I would recommend you do right after you foam roll, if you just had to guess from all the combined 40 Fit Fu episodes we've done, what do you think I would recommend?
Audience, joint mobility.
Yes. Active mobility, take those joints to their full range of motion. I was going to say with devotion.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and take them through the full range of motion and see if you feel it. You can, like for example, let's say you raise your arm and you're like, oh, I'm feeling a little bit tight. Foam roll, then raise your arm like, wow, it feels great.
It's like test, retest.
Now I'm going to really cement this, hit save on the document by taking that joint through its full range of motion. All right, that's the way we look at it. So that's a very good question, Jim. You've negated your previous question. So from here, we've done our quads. We've done.
I'll give him a thumbs up.
Yeah, we've done our hips. So we're just going to do our adductors, the inside of the legs. Doing a lot of the straight splits, side to sides. These muscles get pulled as well. So side kicks, things like that. So for this time now, the leg that's bent and the foam roller straight is the leg is the side that's being rolled.
And you also actually do this at night.
Oh, actually, yes. I didn't finish answering the question.
Yes,
correct. So for me, I foam roll throughout the day, luckily, because my job is as a personal trainer, and I've got.
He's like surrounded by foam rollers.
Well, and for a lot of sessions, even if I don't do the entire foam rolling, a couple of times a day, I do a little bit of foam rolling with my clients. At nighttime, especially if it's after our Kung Fu classes, which are pretty intense, I have my routine, and you and I have dinner, right? And then you say, okay, I guess you're going to go do your routine now, which involves foam rolling first, full joint mobility afterwards, and then maybe even a little bit more progressive isometric stretching. It depends on what I have time for.
Those are some big words, Oscar.
It depends on how much time I have and also how tired I am. But at the least, I try to do a little bit of foam rolling right before going to bed. Again, if nothing else, just to get my nervous system to start calming down, and it helps me go to sleep. So we're doing the inside of the legs. I always tell my clients this is where you get a little bit intimate, because you're getting pretty high up in the groin area, and then you can go all the way down to close to where the knee is. Same as we did with our quads, I like to rotate my hips. I like to extend my knee, bend my knee. Just try to scan and find what's a little bit tight, okay? And we're gonna finish off with the calves and the anterior tib, which is the front of the shin. So for the calves, often get neglected, and so this can be pretty tight. Right behind the ankle, all the way to the tissue of the calf is all fair game. Another one that I like to do on one leg, but can be done with both calves at the same time to maybe not be as aggressive.
Or if you feel really like not into it, you could just sit here like me and pretend you're doing your calves.
And actually bring up a good point, because earlier you said...
Or you could really be intense and do the cross.
Yeah, where you said there's some parts that are not as fun.
Yeah.
And if you're not in shape, right, and you've got to lift your body up and put it, it's really hard, right? Foam rolling itself for someone who's completely out of shape can be its own workout.
Yeah, like just holding yourself up is...
And so a comment you made earlier about some of my clients spending a lot of time foam rolling, the ones who can get in and out of positions, yes. Some of the clients who it's tough for them to move, to use a foam roller because they've got to move their body weight around, don't like doing it.
Right.
And so my job is to continuously remind them that we are just trying to make some changes to their tissue temporarily to then allow them to have a better workout. So for the calf, just remember up, down, across, your point of like putting your other leg on top and just kind of pushing a little bit. Remember, I need to be able to breathe into the movement. I can't, if I'm holding my breath and you see the veins popping out of my neck, or for some people out there, you know, they like their eyebrow might pop straight up.
Yeah, just one though.
Just one eyebrow.
One
yeah,
eyebrow.
some people are like that. Then probably you're not. You need to back off a little bit.
Right, right. Yeah, because you're not trying to torture yourself, but at the same time, you do want to feel that, you know, intensity. And then the goal though is to feel it loosen up, right?
Yeah, so you think about, you know, knots and we get knotted up. Maybe you'll be able to make a little bit of change and loosen that up. Take almost like you take Play-Doh out of the box and you've moved it up, and just by moving it around, it's become a little bit more malleable. But just remember that is temporary, and the next step then is to active mobility with some joint circles, which we have videos on that. Or even better, you go right into your Kung Fu practice, you start moving better and get better into your stances, practice a little bit harder. And so I'm just doing the front of my shin because I know I've been doing a jump rope challenge with a good friend of mine, Donna, so I am...
even out while you're doing that. So in summary then, there's benefit to do it before workout, post-workout, two different reasons really, but well, same reason, but kind of one is like you're getting that window of opportunity to kind of get the blood flowing, circulation, and then at the end of the day, the post-workout part of it.
It's like nervous system. So if you want to make change to your tissue, the fastest way to make a change is through the nervous system. And the way you access that is by being able to breathe and move into it. So this is why meditation is important, right? And why in Kung Fu we start doing By Foot Sao. Your ability to access your breath while you're doing certain things will allow your nervous system to relax and be able to receive information. The information that you're giving it of like, I'm trying to get lower in my stance. Pay attention. If you're too tensed up, then then you're not going to be able to do it. Foam rolling can be a way to open up that window to allow you then to be able to move a little bit better. And then at the end of the night, if it's something that you do as your night routine, it can be a way again to bring down that sympathetic nervous system, right? Bring up your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest, and allow you maybe to get a better night's sleep and feel better for the next day.
Yeah, and we would love to hear about your results and how it goes and which foam roller you've chosen. You know, what you prefer. Also, Oscar has a new one. It's called the Rolga or something, and that one has like all these waves in it. So there are a variety. I don't think there's a right or wrong. It's a preference. So whatever you guys prefer, the fact that you're doing it is what is awesome.
And cumulative, over time, being consistent. I think that new roller that we have, over time, sometimes maybe your body adapts and wants something different. So I kind of I'm really enjoying that one. And right now I feel awesome. The other thing is if you don't do a lot of this because we're moving a lot of fluid and tissue around, similar to to a massage, make sure you stay hydrated, drink a lot of water.
Yeah, drink a lot of water.
Which we're about to do right now.
That's right. Our water's just right off camera there.
I am going to demonstrate how great I feel by duck walking to turn this off. But that's it. We are done. Do you have anything else we need to add?
No, just remember that we are here every Tuesday at 8 o'clock, so please tune in and think of questions. I think we already know what we're talking about next week if you have pre-questions.
I can tell you.
The suspense. I'm sure they're dying to know.
We're talking about wrists, and wrists are important for flowering. Iron Bridge.
I was doing
Snake.
Iron
cat.
Bridge, flowering.
Yeah, but
blocks,
a bunch of stuff.
Overhead blocks.
Yeah, overhead blocks. All of it.
Long spear hands. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next week.